the Rakan to try and disrupt the engage that's coming through from the Vi. You can pop the charm, but I can understand the Poppy in the same boat, but it just doesn't give you that go-in tool. So it feels like it's going to be very heavily on like Gala trying to set up with these arrows for picks and then having...
One that Dagda said before, we didn't see as of late. It was only in that ascension stage. As you mentioned, LNG the only ones to take down BLG in a best of 3, but this is best of 1 territory, and this is a matchup we didn't get in playoffs whatsoever. So first seed versus third here to move on to 2-0. Means one LPL team will be on that match point. We'll move to BO3s here at the Swiss stage at Worlds.
Yeah, I think the difficulty here for BLG is going to be the lack of, pushing bot and top, because it's going to open up Weiwei to be a real threat when it comes to his first move on skirmishes or even having the support from his team. And I think that's where LNG have started to come alive, is when they can try and get these early leads for a scout play towards the mid lane and then lean that in towards sideline pressure. But already that pressure coming through here as they start to move forward. Gala forced to flash away.
Yeah, he does just leave it out, doesn't he? Elk's got a 4th shot he's holding on to, but what are we going to get in the end? Ignite, flash from Gala. Elk did have to cleanse as well, but having that flash up and available means that for BLG, slight advantage. Grubs, LPL team's like, no, we need this dragon, let's start it off.
Yeah, I thought we'd get more pressure towards the Void Grubs, especially when you're looking towards Scout. I think he'd love to try and get these early plays, but the lack of control over the mid lane really started to hinder them, and they just saw that they had the opportunity to get the push for Gala on this bottom side, so let's use that to go for dragons. Does mean you're not going to get like 4 or 5 for a split pushing Yone, but, 4 or 5 Void Grubs for a split pushing Yone, but you're still fine, I think, as LNG to just try and focus on early dragon takes, so BLG don't have an objective to force you into fights later.
And maybe as well with that dragon take for LNG, gives a bit of space to Gala and Hung, who've been shoved up against the turret for the duration of the game. It's also because as TP comes through in top, Elk looks like he took a reset, then walked back to lane, and is just coming back to catch the wave.
I think it's also Gala now having his flash available is way less vulnerable on this bottom side from on like flash.
Another grub.
Yeah, Bin starting to move down. I think he just needs to try and zone Zuka off from joining this though, as 80 carries contest mid push, but Elk moving over.
Oh, flash on. He goes in and with the Magnet Storm draws them in. A flash gets interrupted as he arrows the counterpunch, but for LNG, Hung is too low to re-engage. Zik is trying to burn down Bin and he's just getting zoned off as well, but gets a flip back and now tries to out-team fight with the Paranoia in. BLG group on up and they see enough. They dive onto this jungler as it's trade for trade, but BLG in the middle of the pit getting hit by scouters. Wei gets over on the backside, but LNG have numbers advantage again. Bin's trying to carry the rest, and he does eventually with Elk getting the 4th shot, but now BLG bring in Knight. He wasn't in the fight, and that was a different. Shockwave brings on in, holds Scout, saves Wei, and he picks up the kill. Knight chases down with the rest of LNG, already falling so close. Gala tries to be that team fight 80 carry, and when LPL goes head to head, you ask for more of that, please.
That was such a sick fight. LNG thought they had that moment to take,
but in the end, BLG still win it out. Some surefire mechanics. Knight rejoining in. 2 kills on Gala, 1 on Knight now, and there's a small gold lead as LNG, the retribution is going to be the fact that they're 2 dragons up.
But I think the fallback plan for LNG yesterday was a lot of these team fights. They didn't really look as successful as they would traditionally, playing through these side lanes, trying to play through Scout. When you are already in a deficit and you're trying to outfight BLG, that's not exactly where you want to be. So this game very much under control of BLG, and as long as they don't give opportunities for LNG to play off of like picks from Gala with Weiwei.
Oh, that's a pick. They give opportunity. Hung's trying to save the play, but instead Zika's already dead. Under turret, it will end up being a trade, but it's only support for supporters. Elk now sits down, waiting for that shot to come through, and onto Hung. It's being tanked up by Knight, who walked on in. Weiwei wants to slow here with the stride breaker, but it's not enough. Elk just walks out in smooth fashion, and BLG open up the turret and open up the advantage to this first game of the day.
If BLG had that push in mid, so happy to roam Knight up and just look for the thing. BLG should be fine and just start playing for some of these key objectives. 2 dragons for LNG though is pretty nice, because it means that they can actually just look to continuously pressure these side lanes as these dragons come up.
Well, Hung is trying to add some pressure of his own onto the red buff. Weiwei is sure behind him. He takes the Paranoia. The Ash Arrow doesn't connect though, so he's bought time. Wei has to ulti in the end, but Weiwei takes him down. The Shockwave looking for a trade, finds it easily, and Weiwei's now in trouble. The Curtain Call tries to slip the gap, but with a Hung ulti lying down, or rather on, Carla's in so much trouble. He gets ulted by Bin on the back end, and LNG have to run for their lives. BLG turn a fight again.
This was looking like LNG versus TL. TL saw the pick against LNG, they turned it around, and then just look for, I was going to say a cross map, but they're not really in the best of positions. Rift Herald used on bot by way is a nice call because it just creates another point of pressure and draws LNG away from a potential pushed mid into top side, and now they have to defend the bot lane tower.
Scout by himself to do that for now, right? He looks for the eye. The turret won't go down, but the charge successful. BLG in front of Dragon. You said LNG don't have to, Dagda, but they're like, maybe we do. We have to fight over everything. What region is this?
I mean, LNG are not the team that usually goes for this, but...
Arrow blocked by On. Here we go, the engage, but it's taken by Elk in the end. The re-engage comes through from On as he jumps into the back line, but isolated is Hung. He has to flush away, but Scout brings them together to clap. LNG are taking the fight, and BLG don't know what just hit them. Scout is this team. Scout is LNG, and without Scout they were worried, but he made it to Worlds, and he is sick of the accusations.
Have you not seen Scout's Yone? This is what this man does. You'll see the importance there, and it's showing it on the main stage.
After the sealing of fate from Scout, Zika cleans it up. Paranoia used again. BLG getting engaged on, and it's on to Elk. He's a backline condition, but Weiwei has gone too deep before Zika can get there. But Elk is still going to get traded. Again, he's burning them down. We just highlighted the man, and he's taken BLG all out. They're trying to deal with it, but he's still so healthy. There's no damage left. And Scout will deal with another fate sealed, and LNG's team fights are looking blissful. On gets out. Bin only by the hair of his chinny chin chin, but Hung has got a date with another support. It looks cute. It looks great. He takes a turret shot and they dissipate, but On and
great spot, and finally you're getting the completion of a lot of the armor.
It hits On as he's leaving enemy jungle. It hits On, and he doesn't have Merc treads. It's Paranoia. Carla, that arrow was out of this world.
And why did you set up Baron for LNG as well? The push on bot lane for Scout, he has TP to join, but he's been matched by Bin, who doesn't have his. He interrupts though. Bin just barely gets it, and I think that stops LNG from going for the play.
Bin won't get stopped either. I mean, Scout is doing good damage, but Bin can just walk out of this. You're right, it stops a Baron. Dagda, a beautiful hit. Lane is the first stop there. On the other side, of course, Elk was always ahead. Remember, 1,800, 1,900 gold throughout this early game as Hung is moving into danger. He gets engaged on. It's a nice Magnet Stormer setup as well with the cease and desist. He tries to turn it. Everything used on the support now means danger for BLG. Into the back line, Weiwei's just run on in. The shockwave to get him in the back, but Scout already disengages. Bin had to ulti to get out of there. LNG have 4 alive and health bars to start the Baron.
Great setup from Scout, and the fact that Hung stayed alive for so long meant that BLG overcommitted into the area, and now they're on towards the Baron, way half health. Scout spots him.
He's got no flash, he's got no ulti. As you said, Scout just says, cease and deliver. Takes a free kill, and LNG in a matchup that I did not see coming. Have just a Scout, we knew it'd be a doozy. I just didn't know how much on Scout's side after Knight was bullying him in the early game. So again, it's a pleasure to open up with this on Worlds as LNG still being the favorites here. Now with the gold leader, found themselves a free support, and Weiwei flew in with the Paranoia. It's a 2-quick kill. Bin though separates, which is great, but Weiwei flashes up, builds a bit of space while the rest of LNG try to find the back pieces, but Elk zoned himself out from Scout, almost dies in the end, and Bin, even though he looked for the chase, dies as well. Zeka flashes on top of Knight, and the underdogs of the LPL are taking it to the tournament favourites.
The Kingmaker in calling his bluff here on multiple chances, especially Gala. Now the engage.
At least for Scout, this is last hope spot for BLG to find a pick, but they've done no damage on Scout. Instead, he turns it as Weiwei flies in again. Free farming, Scout does it again! Sealing the fate of the first seed of the LPL. That's my Faker protege.
Scout is a man on a mission, and BLG are in his sights. Bin with TP to the tower. Can he get the wave? Can he do something here? But it feels like there's nothing left.
How do you defend? He's got nothing in the tank, and BLG might have good early game or good early lanes, but LNG read their game, read their minds. The third seed of the LPL take them down, move to 2-0. And when we say Scout is LNG, we bloody mean it.